Welcome to this visual explainer. Today, we're literally opening up a hand-drawn sketch-style notebook to map out the beautifully poetic and intensely isolating world of Kaya, the marsh girl. We're pulling this straight from the pages of Delia Owens' Where the Crawdads Sing. Think of this as your visual guide, designed to take us right into the raw, unfiltered heart of the wild. We'll be tracing Kaya's journeys step by step today. We'll look at the marsh is not swamp, secrets in the sand, survival and abandonment, connections in the wild, the shell of romance, and finally, nature's ultimate loyalty. Section 1. The marsh is not swamp. Right from the opening pages, a hard line is drawn for us. Quote, marsh is not swamp. Marsh is a space of light where grass grows in water and water flows into the sky. You know, this gorgeous distinction tells us right off the bat that the marsh isn't some dark, stagnant, creepy place. Not at all. It's a vibrant, breathing sanctuary. It's a space where slow-moving creeks literally carry the sun to the sea. For Kaya, this isn't a wasteland. It is a radiant, living home. And when you look at this hand-drawn map of Barkley Cove and Kaya's shack, you can really visually grasp her profound isolation. See how the marsh forms this massive protective barrier of waterways and estuaries? It sits right between her quiet little shack down at the bottom and the rigid, judgmental town of Barkley Cove up at the top. The geography itself acts as a buffer. It's shielding her from the prejudice of the townspeople. Section 2. Secrets in the sand. So, as the sheriff and his deputy arrive at the fire tower to investigate the death of the town's golden boy, Chase Andrews, they quickly realize that nature itself is actually obscuring the truth. Look at these notes. The sand shifts into formless dimples with every single step. The animal tracks, like from a raccoon or a turtle, are clear as a picture, but there is absolutely no human footprint to be found anywhere. At one point, the sheriff thinks he sees the imprint of a boat, right? But it turns out to just be wind-blown broken grass that drew a perfect half circle in the sand. The big takeaway here is that the thick layers of scattered shells and restless winds are guarding the secrets of this alleged murder flawlessly. Nature is essentially playing the ultimate alibi. Section 3. Survival and abandonment. Left entirely alone as her abusive father slowly just stops coming home, Kia endures this crushing, unimaginable loneliness. And we can see the devastating social toll it takes on her. She's targeted, she's taunted by local boys who stomp onto her porch, calling her the marsh girl and the missing link. She's literally forced to hide behind the half wall of her shack, holding her breath, feeling utterly shamed in that stone-quiet darkness. At this point in her life, humanity is only offering her cruelty and fear, which just deepens that fierce primal instinct she has to hide away from the world. Yet right in the middle of all this profound loneliness, a tiny flicker of genuine connection emerges. This delicate, wild turkey tail feather, just left sitting on a stump, sparks an incredible thrill in her heart. It signals the start of an ongoing, unspoken game with a boy named Tate. It's a quiet, incredibly respectful exchange, rooted entirely in the language of the woods, which is, of course, a massive contrast to the loud, violent taunts of those other town boys. Section 4. Connections in the wild. Now, there's a serious, looming threat. Social Services is hunting for Kaya to put her in a foster home. To escape, Tate helps her retreat deep into the bush. He tells her they need to hide where the crawdads sing. Now, you might remember this beautiful phrase passed down by Kaya's mother. It simply means going far, far out into the marsh where critters are wild, still behaving like true critters. It represents the untamed, totally honest heart of nature. And it's out there, miles from civilization, that they share this quiet moment discovering a brilliantly white bullfrog, truly solidifying a bond built on their shared reverence for the wild. Section 5. The shell of romance. As Kaya grows older, she finds herself deeply drawn to Chase. She dances in the moonlight in a flowing white dress, genuinely longing to be touched, but, she remains incredibly guarded. She firmly believes that touching someone means giving away a piece of herself that she might never get back. They do share this seemingly magical boat ride under a gray sky, where Chase is playing the harmonica and curious porpoises are actually circling their boat. It feels like this perfect union of human romance and natural wonder. But the reality of Chase's world soon pulls him away, leaving her totally stranded. Left waiting alone in the spent, brown grasses of the winter marsh, Kia turns to poetry to process this immense grief. Quote, each time I forget you, your eyes haunt my heart, and it falls still. These lyrical thoughts reveal the huge emotional toll of this romance. I mean, think about it. She opened the shell of her heart just a tiny fraction, only to be left abandoned by a human once again, forced to find her footing alone in the cold, howling wind. Section 6. Nature's ultimate loyalty. Kaya's life is an absolute masterclass in resilience, which we're defining here as the ability of the human spirit to survive and find peace when shaped by the unforgiving but honest laws of the natural world. Driven into complete isolation, she didn't just survive. She learned to thrive by adopting the marsh as her surrogate mother. When the literal heart pain of abandonment hit her, she would physically lay her hand upon the breathing, wet earth, and the land would catch her. The laws of nature are for sure unforgiving, but unlike human society in Barkley Cove, they are entirely honest. When we compare these two forces in her life, the contrast is completely stark. Look at the left side, humanity. For Kaya, human interaction repeatedly brought prejudice, abandonment, betrayal, and deep loss. But on the right side, nature. The natural world provided her with the honest tools for survival, the inspiration for her incredible success as a published author, and ultimately, a lasting peace. Her differences weren't a flaw. They were born of absolute necessity. As we wrap up this visual notebook of Kaya's life, I want to leave you with a final provocative question to think about. If human society only ever offered prejudice, mockery, and abandonment, can we really blame Kaya for letting her ultimate loyalty belong solely to the wild earth that sustained her? When humanity turns its back, where else can the heart truly anchor itself? I hope this explainer has helped you see the marsh not as a swamp to be avoided, but as a space of light to be understood. Thanks so much for learning with me today.